Okay, good morning, everybody. We're going to be playing more of the Restoration of Eiganjo and Power Conduit deck. We played one league with this list yesterday on stream, and then we played one league with the version that was still playing Oswald Fiddlebender and the Crackdown Construct combo. And, I do think that there is still some nuance between the two versions, and I think that if you wanted to still play Fiddlebender, you wouldn't be, completely out of your mind for wanting to do so. However, between the two decks, this one felt a lot better. What I love about playing basically Smith over Fiddlebender is you get that fourth dispatch of the main deck, which is a really big deal. Card is, I think, pretty well positioned. And when you play for Ingenious Smith, every single card of the deck is just like a card advantage card, or interaction where your opponent's going to have a really hard time beating you with one-for-ones in interaction when your threats are Stoneforge Mystic for Nettlecyst, Ingenious Smith, Nettlecyst, Restoration, Esper Sentinel, Urza Saga. Just all of these cards, replace themselves. And the deck just kind of feels like it almost never runs out of resources. It just always has something to do with the mana. Very powerful, very grindy, very interactive. At least good against interacting against creatures. In the sideboard, you have a lot of stuff for Cascade decks, creativity. And then I've changed a couple cards from last time. The biggest change is we're playing Seal of Cleansing and Citizen's Crowbar in the sideboard as disenchant effects. These cards are particularly good with Restoration because Restoration can loop them, especially with Power Conduit. We can just do this every single turn. Citizen's Crowbar is tutorable with Stoneforge Mystic, although likely a little bit less powerful than Seal of Cleansing. Although one thing I like about Citizen's Crowbar is that against specifically Rakdos Scam, you want to have access to answers to Blood Moon, but you don't want to be bringing in a lot of answers to Blood Moon, but you want to be able to deal with it when they draw it. And so the fact that you could just bring in one Crowbar in that matchup, I think is really nice. And not have to bring in 3 sideboard cards. Additionally, I'm playing Soul Guide Lantern over the Relics. I was just thinking yesterday, oh well, if you exile your yard with Restoration, you can still just discard something, return it. It's not that big a deal to exile your own yard, but Restoration can just loop Soul Guide Lantern, which I just think is important enough that you want to be on that instead. Is there a reason you don't have fetches for Restoration? Well, if you want to return a land with Restoration, you can just discard a land and get it back. It's pretty easy because Chapter 1 gets you a copy of Basic Plains. I really like having just a pile of Basic Plains in this metagame since there's a lot of Blood Moons, and so just making sure that you're going to be able to cast your spells, and Blood Moon is just mostly destroy your Urza Sagas is really nice for an artifact deck to at least have just to minimize Blood Moon. Additionally, with all the Beseijus running around, just making sure that you just always have planes to get with Restoration and Beseiju is really nice. You could play fetch lands, though. It'd be pretty marginal. I think either way. Dusk, 6 months, thank you. Okay, I like this hand a lot. Gonna keep this on the draw. I also have really, really, really liked Lightning Greaves with Restoration, where it's a really good card to put into play with Restoration because the fact that it enters tapped doesn't matter. And it makes the Architect have haste, which is a big buff to that card as well. A bit worried here about my opponent being... I guess if they're living in, they only have 1 plains in the deck. Yeah, it looks like Murktide, which is I think one of our better matchups, if not our best matchup, to be honest. Do I like that art for sort of Feast and Famine? Yeah, I like the Masterworks. Masterpieces, whatever they're called. Okay, I guess we're just going to jam the Smith. Cool. And notably Lantern, pretty, certainly a worse card than Relic of Progenitus in this matchup, but not the end of the world. With 4 dispatches, I'm feeling pretty comfy. Yeah, no Fiddlebenders, unfortunately, but... it's time. It's time to move on from our fiddly friend, I think. Okay, getting Blood Moon, but I mean, this is exactly why I just love to have all these basic planes. There's a lot of Blood Moons right now, and this does basically Nevermore's my Surgicals, or sorry, my Urza Sagas. At least game 1, game 2, I can bring in the Crowbar and have an answer to Blood Moon. With the blue-white control with Red and 6, I think it's pretty reasonable. I like Zach Allen a lot. I think his list is pretty good. Notably, like, your mana becomes much worse when you play Red and 6. It is functional, but it's a lot worse. And you become much weaker to Blood Moon. And your deck, so it's, you know, a classic question of power level versus consistency. You know, we talk about this idea a lot, but, you know, most deck building decisions in Magic are like a conversation of power level versus consistency. And Ren and 6 increases power level, reduces some consistency, but does, you know, increase the consistency of hitting land drops. So, not sure. Be interested in playing the list. So, assuming that my Stoneforge Mystic just, like, resolves, I think I'm going to ditch the portable hole. Well, yeah. Oh, no, sorry, I needed to ditch the Greaves. I needed to ditch the Greaves to put the Greaves back in play. I don't know why I thought I could discard this and then put the Greaves into play. Okay, well, we'll get back our Ingenious Smith, which is also, like, super fine, I think. Another land I think is pretty valuable here. I think I want to go. I want to cast. I guess just cast both my 2-drops. So cast Stoneforge Mystic. Play Oh, okay. Resolves. I already have a Nettlecyst in my hand. I think I'll just get the higher upside Kaldra. If I didn't have Nettlecyst in my hand, I'd be getting the Nettlecyst here. Jared Bear, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate you. I'm definitely having a good start to today's stream. Spell Pierce, sure. Why not pitch Mystic? Yeah, I don't know why I just, you know, early morning brain fart. But the idea was to initially to get back the Greaves, play Stoneforge Mystic, equip Greaves to Mystic, and be able to, like, activate Mystic immediately this turn was the thought behind. They're playing basic Mountain? Oh, this is Blue Moon. Oh, see, here's the thing about Blue Moon players too. They play the basic Mountain when they shouldn't. This is also something about Blue Moon players. Is just all of their card decisions always, they just feel so suboptimal to me. With the Blood Moon out, yes, the lands are still artifact lands. You might have noticed that Ingenious Smith did trigger here. I'm gonna play my land here to play around the second Spell Pierce. It's just always so wild how suboptimal Blue Moon's deck building feels. Target the Consider, that's the one that they can, like, snap back pretty effectively. I've been really liking this deck. It's been, like, very fresh, very fun. It's like a really revamped version of the old Fiddlebender deck. It feels powerful and consistent and very hard to interact with. That is one thing I really like about this deck too. Like, when you look at, like, Affinity, all versions of Affinity, Key Combo, Hammer Time, all of these decks, like, they do struggle against, like, Engineer Explosives, Force of Vigor, these kind of cards. And this deck just always feels so much better at, like, fighting through those cards, because you just have, like, so many grindy elements, so many 2-for-1s that you're okay, like, you know, getting that premium interaction against you. And Restoration is also just so insane in those matchups too. Can Restoration Angel bring back the card discarded? Yes, it can. It can. I did a bit of a brain fart, thinking I was, like, gonna get to loot. Which I did get to loot away to the portable hole for value, but that's not usually how you're gonna want to do this. I don't understand. This is the second morning in a row. This is the second morning in a row that I've woken up, I've drinking my coffee, and my round 1 opponent is playing Ral Is It Viceroy in Blue Moon. This is the second morning this has been our start. I don't understand. Okay, so I think I'm going to get back the Lightning Greaves so I can haste the Nettlecyst token here. Ooh. Yeah, then we can just also play the Power Conduit and then start, like, looping this every single turn. Yeah, this is the meta. Wait, hold on. If I equip my Shadowspear here, 10 power, they go to 1 if they block the Smith. So I think I just play the Power Conduit now. Okay, good enough. With Sagas, do you need Power Conduit before the 3rd counter is placed? If the 3rd counter goes on the Saga, you can peel it off. Although I think with Restoration, hold on. Yeah, with Restoration you do. With Restoration you need to pull the counter off before Chapter 3 goes in the stack, because this trigger will still trigger, I think. With Urza Saga, you want to let the 3rd counter go on, then pull the counter off, so Urza Saga still stays around. It's a bit weird. Okay, so I think this is gonna be a great spot for the Crowbar, where so I was thinking about this morning, like, okay, when I'm playing against Hammer Time, I'm almost always gonna want to tutor Manriki-Gusari over Citizen's Crowbar. So do I want to play Crowbar, or do I just want to play more Seal of Cleansings? And thinking about spots, like, I decided that I really wanted to play Crowbar in, like, against, like, blue-red and black-red moon decks, where I don't really want to board in a ton of Seal of Cleansings, although I might bring in, like, a Seal of Cleansing against this deck. But I want to be able to, like, tutor up interaction for Blood Moon when I need it and not draw a bunch of dead cards when I don't. However, this is, like, you know, weird matchup that we've been playing against a few times lately, I suppose. And we don't really have that many cards, so I do think I'm actually going to bring in the Seal of Cleansings, but this is, like, largely because I guess I could be bringing in, like, second Lantern, maybe play just 1 Seal of Cleansing, 1 Crowbar, 3 Dispatch. You can take the counter off and upkeep. Yes, you can take the counter off and upkeep. Okay, we have, you know, kind of the nut draw, Sentinel into Saga, Power Conduit. Obviously, this being a Blood Moon matchup on the draw could go awry, but we're definitely going to keep. How badly do you answer Blood Moon? I mean, we're an Urza Saga deck, and, like, the Power Conduits, like, are largely, like, you know, important to work with the Urza Sagas. So I think that, like, if you're playing against a Blood Moon deck, you should bring in an answer to it. Like, but like against, like, Rakdos, I plan to probably just bring in a Crowbar, maybe like 1 Seal of Cleansing, but I really like the Crowbar as a tutorable answer to Blood Moon. That's like the main thing I'm liking about it. Deck seems relatively cheap. Yeah, Sagas are expensive. Sentinels are a few bucks for sure too. Dude, I love Sentinel. Stoneforge Mystic. I would say that if you already have Hammer Time as a deck, then this deck is probably super cheap for you to pick up. What's the castle for? It's for Jegantha. Like, it protects Jegantha for Unholy Heat, like, which I just think is enough. Like, you already have a ton of basic planes, so, like, playing around Blood Moon is, like, pretty easy, you know. I'm probably gonna jam the Restoration this turn instead of making a token. Which next turn I can... Okay, I can get back the Power Conduit, but the Power Conduit enters tapped. So I'm not going to be able to start looping this Saga, I think. I think that's fine. Ooh. So I could put a Greaves into play next turn and then haste my construct. If this caused the card to enter untapped, it would be so sick. Okay, so one way I can beat this relic here, relic stopping my ability to restoration, is I can stack my triggers so that the Saga trigger resolves before Restoration Chapter 2, and I can needle the relic. So let's stack the triggers like this. Ooh, and I drew Power Conduit. What are we doing this turn? I kind of just want to cast 2/2 drops. And maybe I'm losing some value here, but I just have so much value. I think this is fine. Couldn't you grab it anyway? Then on draw step use Power Conduit, or is it sorcery only? Couldn't grab it anyways. Then draw step use Power Conduit or sorcery only. I mean, I'm a bit confused what you're asking. What am I grabbing, and when exactly? Okay. So yeah, let's go. I think we'll just put Springleaf Drum into play now, And then we will wait, I could also get back Saga now that I have the Power Conduit. I could putting Urza Saga back into play with Power Conduit is kind of nice. Hasty Stoneforge Mystic is also super nice here. And I have the Restoration to like I could just keep doing that next turn, assuming that if they have a counterspell, they're going to counter my Stoneforge Mystic instead of my Power Conduit anyways. Power Conduit with Restoration last turn. I drew this Power Conduit for this turn, so I didn't have the window to do that. As far as returning Power Conduit with Chapter 2, that wasn't an option. It doesn't have read ahead. I don't know if you're asking about read ahead. I'm a little confused. Okay, equip Greaves. Okay, somewhat unsurprising. Oh no, I meant to tap that to Springleaf Drum. Damn it. Okay, so I'm not gonna get to play a Soul Guide Lantern here, which would be fine. And now we get to Restoration every turn. Yeah, it doesn't have read ahead. This one's from Kamigawa. Would be nuts with read ahead though. I mean, it's also just a very. I've been so impressed by Restoration. It's been really, really strong. I don't know. I always get, you know, again, I get a little nerdy when stuff like this happens, I guess. Where, like, this is a card that's been out for a really long time, and you just find some, like, really cool synergies with it, you know? Okay, that relic was definitely thorn in our side here. Let's go ahead and just put the Crowbar into play, though. Too bad. Too bad that Nettlecyst cannot just be put into play through a counterspell, but looks like they don't have a counterspell, which is awesome. Then let's go equip here. Oh, I guess let's actually put a +1 counter on this. I think it's fine to peel the charge counter. I guess maybe peeling the Restoration counter is better. I mean, I get to peel the Restoration counter on my turn next turn. Oh no, I should have cast my Soul Guide Lantern though, so that's a missed point of damage. I think we'll be okay. Took your Rakdos Splash White to list this weekend. Got 16 plates out of 200 and 6-2. Biggest event. Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually, like, I was thinking last night. I think, so I am mostly going to Vegas for fun. Also because, like, I don't actually know that I'm registered in the Modern tournament because it's a whole thing, but I bought a ticket from someone else. They transferred it to me like 2 months ago, and I don't think the tournament entry got transferred. So I'm mostly going to Vegas to hang out and have fun anyways, but I think if I'm gonna bring a Modern deck, that might be it. But no. Okay, mulligan this. New matchup. 1-0. Keep this, put back the... kind of put back the Seat of the Empire, so that if I draw Dispatch, I just have double Citadel to turn on Dispatch, and I have another white source with the Restoration. For Feign Death. Interesting to... I feel like I like the Village Raid so much with the Unlucky Witnesses, but... I don't know, it's fine. Okay. Saw this that we're playing against Hammer Time, but... seems like we're playing in some kind of mirror. You know, the Blue-White Affinity version. Oh, yeah, actually, the Blue-White Affinity deck, I remember in the past felt like a bad matchup, where, like, just Urza specifically was so good against you. I'm gonna get the Kaldra. They are a deck that's, you know, somewhat light on removal, so I think that it is possible, nay likely, that they just can't answer this Mystic since they've already used one of their portable holes. But they have 2 portable holes. I feel like everybody's reading this card. Dang it. What a curve. Portable hole into Metallic Rebuke. Pretty gross. Bounce my Citadel. Very rude. take the Power Conduit, and then play Plains Lantern since the Citadels can trigger the Smith. It's a mistake that a lot of Merc type players are still running some Charm and Moon main together. I don't know. It's not like the end of the world to play both of those cards together, but I think I would say it's a little suboptimal. I think that you can, like, especially if you have like 5 islands, you can get away with it, but I probably wouldn't want to play that many islands. Bit flooded. That pause there, I think they could maybe have a Metallic Rebuke. I'm going to be holding these lands for Ingenious Smith. Which, maybe I should play one of them this turn. So if I draw Dispatch next turn, it's live. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think I want Dispatch to be live next turn. I'm very surprised that they bounced there. I guess them bouncing the Smith gives them another Teferi bounce. They draw their own Smith. And finds a Thopter Foundry. Their mystery card was a Razortide Bridge. Pluses to Teferi, and then they do run up the Foundry. Might get to use Castle here. Another Power Conduit, Sentinel, Springleaf Drum. 4. I guess we take the Drum so that we can hardcast Kaldra next turn. I feel like there's a good chance that they attack with their Smith if they draw like a cheap artifact, or you know, do this and then like bounce their Smith, or plan to bounce their Smith post combat with Teferi. But then if I can castle this, that'll be really good for me. Although now they just drew another Smith. So, oh, they drew a Stoneforge. Now they get their Sword of the Meek. And things are looking bad. I mean, we have to draw like, just to like find our Pithing Needle. This is good at least. This is something. Nobody ever plays around Castle. It's so hard to play around. It's basically impossible. I guess if we can get Shadowspear and Nettlecyst on Kaldra, that could potentially race the Thopter Sword without an Urza. Bounces my Springleaf Drum. I know I have the Kaldra, so it's a good read. Okay. Pretty dead draw. Let's just go to game 2. I'm going to be bringing in Seal of Cleansings, Crowbar, Extra Needle. I don't think I want the Manriki. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to cut the Lantern. I think I'm going to cut the 4th copy of Dispatch, 4th Power Conduit. Maybe I'm cutting another equipment because I brought in the Crowbar. I feel like I want to have all my equipment. I want all of my portable holes. I want all of my restorations. I could cut a second Springleaf Drum. 1 Lantern for Sword. Soul Guide Lantern is not a good answer to Thopter Sword. It's very easy for them to play around. Pithing Needle is a much better answer. We've got 2 needles. If they're called 21 months, thank you. Portable Hole is also an okay answer because you can target the Thopter Foundry. Seal of Cleansing is also pretty good against it. I think I'm going to cut the second Drum. Not that that's bad in the matchup. I could go to 61 also. Could shave a Smith. I mean, Smith is fine. This is like a grindy matchup. I think I want to keep all my 2 more. I'm just going to play 61. They can hold the needle? Sure. I mean, we can hold the hole. They can answer it. But again, like one use Graveyard Hate is not good at stopping the Thopter Sword combo. It's on board, so it's very easy to play around, and all they have to do is like just sack another artifact in response to play around it. Is the Greaves plus Construct thing combo not worth it? Not without Oswald. You need Fiddlebender to tutor it up. I don't know, maybe you could still play 1, but I think you probably shouldn't. What is this? Mana Tithe? Tear. Okay. Guess that was more likely, huh? It's kind of fine. You know, it's a 2-for-1 with the Sentinel. They say my bad. Yeah, I see, I see. Easy thing to miss. We already have a portable hole, so I'll take a needle here. I've been mana tithed. I've been mana tithed a few times in my life. Okay. I think I'm just down to play the second Smith, get a bit more aggressive, and then have just all interaction after that. Guess I'm taking the Crowbar. Seems okay here. York, 20 months, thank you. Today our fiddles remain straight, sad. That should have been my going live notification. Triple Seacrum Coast. What a beautiful, beautiful lands. They grab their Sword of the Meek. Okay. So I'm not super likely, I think, to want to... Ooh. So, okay, so my opponent can... They don't have Metallic Rebuke up. They don't have Metallic Rebuke up, and they can't Infinite Combo next turn either. Could have gotten Conduit to pump Sentinel. Oh, that's true, yeah, that's true. Forgot that you can, like, move counters from Smith over to Sentinel with Conduit. That's pretty, you know, cute synergy. I think I just want to play the Restoration. Can get our Saga back. Can, you know, just put a Cleansing into play. They can't Rebuke it right now. I know this is like not a super aggressive line, but no, it's a 3-mana Saga. The sooner you play it, the better it is. A lot of good options for next turn. Okay. What do I want? I think I just want the Saga. I think I just want this Saga. And then maybe because I have Seal of Cleansing, I can just discard the Crowbar. I mean, Cleansing's, like, Crowbars aren't too bad, but put Saga into play. I definitely need to Portable Hole, or sorry, Pithing Needle, Thopter Foundry this turn. And so maybe I'm also going to play the Seal of Cleansing. I feel like the Crowbar's going to be kind of slow. I think I just want the extra land. Could Darksteel Citadel to play around Dispute. I mean, I could just pay for Dispute. I could just go land, pay for Dispute. Or Rebuke, yeah. Aim Thopter Foundry. And then if they're going to put in, like, Kaldra or Nettlecyst to block, I think I want them to... I guess maybe I should have played Seal of Cleansing first. Sorry, I definitely should have played Seal of Cleansing first. Not that it beats Kaldra, but it does beat Nettlecyst. Okay, so they block here. It's fine. It's fine. I think I'm gonna bait the Rebuke with Seal of Cleansing and then cast Portable Hole. Obviously, they might not have it, but okay, draws a card. They don't have it. Feeling all right. Do you have any sideboard tools against big mana? So Tron is pretty out of the metagame at the moment. We do have like extra Pithing Needle. We have Void Mirror against Eldrazi Tron. Oh, sorry. I should have killed. One good punt deserves another. I should have killed the Saga in response to the trigger. We got some stuff. Although now I can wait. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to save the Seal of Cleansing to kill Thopter Foundry if they can Portable Hold the Needle. So I am kind of scared of the combo here. Hold on, let me take this turn. Disenchants are pretty good against Titan. We have Dispatches against Titan also. So I do think that we are going to be somewhat capable of winning, just like a normal game against them, but not all the time for sure. I'm gonna take the Greaves, I guess. Although I can't make a token and Greaves this turn, but Greaves on the Architects would be pretty good here. Alternatively, if I take the Citadel, I get to put counters on the Smith this turn, and then another counters on my opponent's turn. But the Greaves also let me attack with another Hasty Construct next turn, so I get to go like, yeah. And that seems pretty valuable. So yeah, let me get the Greaves, and then play another Saga. Yeah, Titan also seems on the downswing, but yeah, I think big manas are a bad matchup, for sure. The main phase this to trigger the Smiths. And then I'm not gonna Seal of Cleansing the Saga, because I think that my opponent's plan is to put in Sword of the Meek here. Oh, I have a Nettlecyst. Okay, I'll probably have to kill the Nettlecyst now. If their hand is like Urza plus Answer for Pithing Needle plus the Sword of the Meek that we do know about, good beats. But I think I'm just trying to kill my opponent next turn, make a Saga token, attack with that, attack for, you know, just millions, so fingers crossed. If their plan is to just like make a Saga token this turn, pretty sure they're dead. They do have the Urza. If that last mystery card is Answer to Portable Hole, like, you know, just good beats. We know their hand. They have the Sword of Meek mystery card. I didn't give an answer to Portable Hole. Answer to the Thopter Foundry. If they answer the Thopter Foundry, we just die. Okay, that's a good draw. So make a construct. Make a construct. Cast a Greaves. Cast a Portable Hole. I think I'm going to float a mana here. It's like a little tricky. It looks like I'm not making a construct this turn, but I'll just make a construct with this Saga instead. And this will let me Needle Stoneforge Mystic. Second Needle on Thopter Foundry. I guess I could have Needle the Saga. They could have Rebuke, that's true. I think I just did second Needle on Thopter Foundry. Because I'm pretty likely, I think, to win this game if I could just stop them from comboing. Even if I don't win this turn. Do we not want Spear? I don't think so. Because we don't have enough mana to equip the Spear after doing all this other stuff. Which I think is better. Just like removing a blocker and making another hasty construct seems better. I think math is probably for blockers here. Block. I guess I'll do it for him though. Block. So they can go buck here. No, I think they have to triple chump. Or I guess they could trade construct for Smith. But I think I can get in with the Sentinel is mostly what I'm saying here. For a Pithing Needle? Yeah. We all have. I don't know what it is about human brains that want to name Pithing Needle with Pithing Needle at some point in their lives. Oh, you can put the Urza here. Sure. And go to 1. They're going to Sword of the Meek mystery card. How good is Power Conduit? I get to play as well with your Sagas, but is it doing anything else that is to warrant it as a 4 of? I mean, it's really, really good with Sagas. And what's kind of cool is, like, if you with Restoration, if you have extra copies, you can loot them away. You can take counters apparently off Ingenious Smith and put them on Esper Sentinel. Wait, what? Okay, so they're going to try to spin into an answer for the Needle. Cool. Our second Needle on Thopter Foundry ended up paying off really well. So they have to hit another Portable Hole. Stoneforge Mystic. Any Citizen Crowbars. Shadowspear, not enough to do anything really. Alright, game 2 or game 3. Titan's Nest, Painter Servant to play Eldrazi. It's just like too dopey. I would be into it if you could like go Titan's Nest, then cast Painter Servant, then cast it off the Titan's Nest, but you can't. You know, like it's just like 6 mana and reliant on having like, you know, your 2 mana 1/3 live. Just not a thing, I think. Okay. I think on the draw I will trim a Restoration for a Dispatch. Just don't really want to draw 2 early on the draw. Keepable hand. Hoping to draw something to do on turn 2, but keepable. Maybe turn 2, we're just paying for Esper Sentinel. Oh. Okay. Planes go, I guess. Don't think it's good to just jam the needle there. I really like the deck. Isn't there anything better? Dispatch 3 and 4. Dispatch is great. Dispatch is crazy in this like Archon of Cruelty world, and it gives you like so much more equity against Titan, which is like something you really struggle against with this archetype. But yeah, I mean with complete respect to our Fiddly Bender, like the main reason to cut Fiddle Bender honestly is the card is just not that good. Maybe getting a Crowbar here. I think I got the Crowbar. Yeah, the main reason to not play Fiddlebender is the card Fiddlebender is like, just not that strong. And I'm getting Cauldred here. That sucks. Been playing Rockruns Triumph. So I need to draw Portable Hole pretty badly. Yeah, having the combo in the deck was nice for sure, but Fiddlebender was definitely the weakest card, and I think the deck has been feeling a lot better without it. We thank Oswald for many years of service. Okay, so one line I can do here is I can put in Citizen's Crowbar with Stoneforge Mystic, get Shadowspear, turn off Kaldra's Indestructible, sack the Crowbar. I'm just so behind on mana is the big problem, and this Esper Sentinel is a big thorn in my side. So I'm kind of thinking that letting them draw a card with the Sentinel so I can Needle Thopter Foundry and just like use one of my extra mana is just what I have to do. As much as I really don't like having to do that, I think that is what I'm going to have to do. Can you race with Shadowspear plus tokens, 2 week to removal? No, I don't think I can race here when I'm on the draw. I've already taken a hit. I could be wrong, but I mean, like I still like getting the Shadowspear like line. I guess does also give me the option, but this line also lets me put in the Nettlecyst next turn with my Stoneforge Mystic too. Shadowspear is 1 to activate, right? The removes Indestructible is just 1 mana. Okay. Urza here is obviously like, probably game over. I always found this matchup to be pretty bad. Just like they're like a little bit bigger than you, and the idea is that you're like more resilient to interaction, but this is definitely a matchup where they get really rewarded for playing their version. Hole answers the germ. You can't get Portable Hole with Saga. Do you think a 4 or 5 color Reclamation deck would work with Wrenn and 6 Leyline, Solitude, Spiral? I wouldn't play Solitude, but yeah, you can play the rest of those cards, I think. We've talked a lot about how I would build the deck. Permanence gain, we'll lose Hexproof Indestructible, Crowbar the Kaldra, play Saga, hold up the ability to Stoneforge Mystic and this Nettlecyst. Pretty good turn, pretty good line. Still feeling pretty behind. I mean, I know how I build a 4-color rack deck. We've talked about it a lot, but I do deck decks for $10. You can link it and send it to the other chatter. We think of the Kruga Omnath deck. I mean, I think that deck's like really good in the grindy matchups and suffers a lot against linear decks, and is probably like a pretty good metagame choice because it seems like, you know, there are more grindy decks right now than linear decks. They grab a Shadowspear, which stings because this grows the construct to 5/5, and my Nettlecyst is just a 4/4. So I'm gonna have to take this hit. Yeah, Modern's really grindy, right? Which is also like why I'm playing a deck like this right now. This format's very grindy. So like, you know, I think the Kruga deck can exist in this metagame and probably can't exist in every metagame. So I guess I'm hoping to like maybe make a construct this turn. Okay, play Treasure Vault. Play Sentinel. Make a 7/7 construct. Hopefully that's big enough. And then next turn try to put Nettlecyst and Shadowspear on the construct. Seems like an okay line. I don't think that Restoration is going to be fast enough this game. Kind of happy with my decision to trim a copy, I guess. It was supposed to chump block with a Citizen token. Or no, it was tapped. Could chump block with a Citizen token this turn if it gets too big, although they're probably going to put Shadowspear on the construct. Okay, so we have a Needle on the Thopter Foundry, so this is not just like death for them. Unless they have an answer to the Needle, then, or death for us, then it is death for us. Just want to see them spin. Best case scenario, spin. Would be my opinion of Wish toolboxes in a deck like Creativity. Creativity has a super high mana curve. You don't want to be playing like one of the highest mana curve cards in Modern, which is Wish. It's like 3 mana plus you have to like cast whatever else this turn. Seems like a bad include to me. Okay. So 7/7 construct, or sorry, 6/6 construct, and then this is one bigger because it counts the Saga for now. So if I make a token and gets, oh, okay. Well, I have 2 Springleaf Drums in the deck, but I guess I'm just gonna go make a token, get a second Pithing Needle again. And then I think we equip Shadowspear to our Germ token. I could put it on one of my 2 constructs, I guess, because I'm probably wanting to move this over next turn. The thing is, like, I'm just like not casting spells into these Sentinels, so I kind of don't mind just double equipping next turn anyways. Yeah, let's move this Shadowspear here, then attack with the Nettlecyst and the construct. And then, assuming these both get traded for, we just dump both on the construct over here next turn. Okay. Winning this game would be so freaking sick. This has been a great match, great league so far. Okay, Saga is scary, but doesn't help them much this turn. Drum first gives them 2 cards. Yeah, I'm not, you know, casting things into the Sentinel. Oh, you're just responding to chat. There's their own drum. Probably gonna pay for this. I guess I could put Nettlecyst on the Sentinel to like draw cards, but I don't know. Spin again. Sarah Paragon? What the hell? Most random shit ever. How do you play Sarah Paragon in your Urza deck? How do you play Sarah Paragon in your Urza deck? What's the reason for not needling Urza? I'm dead if they answer the Needle. Needle doesn't answer. Needle answers the cast ability here. Ooh. Okay, so that's a fucking incredible draw. Oh yeah, the sideboard for the grindy matchups. All right, do some math, opponent. Maybe I was supposed to attack with my 1/1s. I can't be bothered. I don't know. Jump. Okay, so Sarah Paragon doing her job, being a chump blocker. Oh yeah. The fact that they didn't equip the Shadowspear this turn, just tapping 2 Sentinels. I mean, they have a lot of resources to manage. Yeah, so if I attack with both of these, we trade a Sentinel. We get to beat a Sentinel, and then they go to 1. We lose our Sentinel. It's probably okay to attack, I guess. We found Spike's Vegas deck. Maybe. I'm missing some cards, but I'll look and see if, like, I have a local store that has a lot of stuff, so maybe I'll try. Be a fun Vegas deck. I might bring 2 decks too. I could do that. Could bring this in like the sacrifice deck. I'll just bring some fun stuff to Vegas. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to have a good time. I got my EDH deck together. I'm mostly just gonna hang out with people, I think. Yeah, Vegas is this weekend, so I'm only missing Friday's stream, and then like the weekend stream too, I guess. But I'm leaving Thursday night, and so we're gonna still do the Thursday morning stream. Yeah, Crowbar has been pretty nice so far. Where they chumped with the 4/4 instead of Sentinel. Oh, they needed to chump with this has trample, so they had to, right? I thought so, at least. So trading for 1919? Yeah, I don't know how they could have traded for the 19. What? No. No. Fuck. How do they have Verdict in their deck, too? We're at 32 life, I guess. But they get to make 2 constructs. And they have Shadowspear. I always like just despise like when verdicts are in like these like Urza Sagas, like their deck is like, you know, non-stop nothing but creatures and Supreme Verdict. But you know, you'll get your opponent sometimes, like my opponent has gotten me. Ooh, what are they needling? Nettlecyst maybe? Yeah. Makes sense. Verdict was their own out. Yeah, I mean it got me, you know, I undeniably got me here. Okay, so I'm taking 21 down to 11. Yeah, just trying to settle the wreckage. I don't know. I always dislike the deck building though. Just have so many creatures and then you're on Verdict. Like your deck is like so weak to Verdict. It always feels like there's just got to be something better. We would maybe be in okay shape here if like this allowed. Okay, hold on. Yeah, no, we can. So what we can do here, we can go discard planes, play Restoration, play planes, play Lightning Greaves, get back Citizen's Crowbar with Restoration. The token is untapped, and so we can block and sack to absorb this damage, kill this construct, but then we just take 11. So we could block here, kill the Nettlecyst. Take 10. No, it get hit by the Sentinel too. Can't play planes. I play planes off the Restoration ETB. I think I'm dead. Alright. I guess I still have the Springleaf Drum I can pay. I could just tap this to the Springleaf Drum. Oh no, I can't. So, I guess I'm dead. I can't, because this has to tap to sack the Crowbar. I was dead anyways, but... Yeah. Yeah, but the idea is that here we get to equip the Greaves, this block sack. We're still just taking Xaxes, which stinks. Very good game, very interesting game. Supreme Verdict got me, very classic. Like, complain about your opponent's sideboard cards and then lose to them anyways. Yeah, like one-sided wraths, like Settle the Wreckage, Winds of Abandon, I don't know. Like, those cards aren't very good, but they're more reasonable, in my opinion. Kind of think we're playing against the Ren 6 blue-white. No Ren 6 this turn, though. We do have a Prismatic Ending. Is Castle just for flavor? It is pretty flavorful, but it protects Jegantha from Unholy Heat, which I know is somewhat narrow. I think I'm going to wait on the Saga. And I think with 3 copies of Stoneforge Mystic in my hand, it's good to get Kaldra. especially when they just used a Prismatic Indigo. Might force them to Solitude this. Monoid, 7 months, thank you. Yeah, like, I know that some people don't share this dislike of Wraths in the creature deck. I know that some people swear by it, some people like it. And it's like, again, it's totally fine if you disagree with me and you think that, like, Wraths in your creature deck is, like, an acceptable deck building habit. You know, it's Magic, everybody disagrees on things, but for me, it's, like, something you're very unlikely to see me ever do. Grab a Nettlecyst here. Any chance we see more of the Titan's Nest deck? Was that deck just for fun? I mean, it was mostly just for fun. Like, I don't think it's a very competitive strategy. Obviously, we didn't do horribly with it, but I think have just like building a deck like that is like very interesting and convoluted and fun. It's something I'll like to do sometimes, but it's not something that I want to do like super often, if that makes sense. Okay, like to get that Solitude done. They pitch Solitude instead of just, you know, hearing. I mean, another Sentinel probably will make my opponent's life miserable, so that sounds good to me. Don't want to trade for a Shark, I guess. Traditionally speaking, Urza is a combo deck, just happens to have some creatures on it. Makes sense to have Verdict. What do you mean it just happens to have some creatures in it? My opponent is playing 4 Sentinel, 4 Ingenious Smith, 4 Stoneforge Mystic, 4 Urza, Sarah Paragon, Urza Saga tokens. They are playing an insane amount of creatures to play Supreme Verdict. They're also, like, not playing Whir, but I don't know. Again, I don't really feel like I'm gonna, like, be very likely to be convinced here. Ooh. Alright, I think I'm just gonna float a mana and cast Restoration this turn. I think that plays around, like, land Verdict pretty well. Go on a Springleaf Drum. I think I'll Needle it to Fairy. They counterspell, we get to draw a card. Force pitching Force so that I don't draw a card. It's fine. This matchup seems pretty good. This deck has a power level black red list. I don't know if that's the best deck. We've been beating the black red deck a lot with this. We're like 2-0 against it. I like this deck a lot. I'm a big fan of this list so far. Binding. I have to get rid of the construct, really. Alright, pretty happy to get this Restoration in play. Hit my land drop, get Saga back for next turn. This matchup seems great. What was yesterday's record? With this version, we were 4-1. We lost playing for 5-0 against Hammer Time. And then we lost to Blue-White Affinity in a very, very good match. So, 6-2. Kahira in the hand. Okay. Because I'm actually going to try to kill my opponent here. Just Lightning Greaves, Nettlecyst. This matchup is nuts. Although I guess I will say we didn't draw like many dispatches or portable holes that game. So we bring in the Crowbars and the Seal of Cleansing, extra Needle, Sword of Feast and Famine. We can play like 1 dispatch tops. Just get the Lantern in as a cyclable artifact. Portable just misses everything, right? Just misses actual everything. Yeah. Alright, so I think we just have to play 2 dispatches, I guess. We can play Moonlight to cycle. I'll just play 2nd dispatch. Why did opponent want to Stoneforge Solitude instead of solituting the Kaldra token? I mean, getting the Stoneforge Mystic off the table has value, but I do think that solituting the Kaldra token is probably better to blank my mana, and so they could get a bit more ahead on board. Moonlight for Shark. Okay, yeah, that's maybe a bit better. I think Band Company is a good deck to start playing Modern. Yeah, I like that deck a lot. It's like, you know, it's a very complicated deck, and I think it's pretty hard to play. So, but I usually really strongly recommend that like a deck being complicated and hard to play not dissuade you from picking a deck up. Why Feast and Famine over Fires on the side? Who's saying Blue-Ray Sword is the best by a mile? Feast and Famine tends to be like the better sideboard card, where it's a card that I like more against Yawgmoth and Control and Tron and Titan, which are all matchups that I want a little bit of extra value in. But like Sword of Feast and Famine is the like much better main deck sword. Okay, I'm gonna cast Ingenious Smith here so I can try to find a artifact land. We do find one. I think the indestructible nature of Darksteel Citadel is not relevant in this matchup, so I will grab the treasure vault. I guess I could eat those words. Fire Ice better main deck or Feast and Famine better main deck? Fire Ice better main deck, and then Feast of Famine again is like a good sideboard card against specifically Tron, Titan, Yawgmoth, Blue-White Control, which at least Tron, Titan, Yawgmoth are all matchups I want equity again. Blue-White is more like just gravy. What is the least complicated deck in Modern? I mean, I think the easiest deck to play proficiently is Burn. I think that it's one of the harder decks to play perfectly. But I think it's one of the easier decks to play proficiently. Blue-White Control is like low-key, like one of the easiest decks too, but I think nobody wants to admit it. 5 colors is fine. Not too complicated. Yeah, this game is probably not too complicated either. I do unironically think that Blue-White Control is probably one of the easier decks to play. I think I want to not... Let's just get our second Sentinel down, play Saga so we don't have to discard. Fully disagree about Blue-White. Yeah, I know it's not a very popular opinion, but as someone that's played a ton of Blue-White, it's like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of your decisions are like just not I mean, maybe it's easy to say, right, because I've played so much of it that like I think it's easy because it's all I do, or not all I do, all I did for a really long time. But like I think a lot of your decisions are, or maybe even the majority of your decisions in Blue-White are just somewhat straightforward. Draven 20 months, thank you. Yeah, Rhinos is probably pretty easy too. But it's, I don't know, it's like, again, I'm someone who's played Control for like a long time, so like, you know, me, it's just like, I think that maybe to some extent, players who just like, you know, players just think that their pet deck is the easiest, right, because they play so much with it. Yeah, I have seen the Ridden 6 in Blue-White, I think it's fine. I'm not sure if it's the best way to build a deck, but definitely fine. I probably want to Restoration this turn instead of making a token. Maybe just getting back Saga next turn, we'll see. Restoration's just so nuts in this kind of matchup. Yeah, I mean, the reality is like no deck is like just easy and easy breezy. Tron is harder to play than Blue-White. Yeah, people always talk about how easy Tron is, but it's like when you play against Tron players, it's just like so often when they're making so often obvious that when they're making mistakes, if that makes sense. It's like it's hard for me to like think that like Tron can really just be so easy if you just see like if you just see Tron players punting constantly, you know what I mean? If they're just like if Blue-White players are constantly punting, it's it can't be that easy of a deck. Alright, let's do this. Chase the Mind Sculptor, and then discard. I think I'll discard Plains. Yeah, I think that Tron's mulligan decisions are incredibly difficult. I think that some of Tron's sequencing decisions are tough. Karn the Great Creator is a hard card to play with. Like knowing when to like you need to like interact on turn 2 versus just go for Tron on turn 3 is somewhat tricky. I don't know. I think that Tron gets a bad rap. No, I haven't gotten my anything from SCG yet. My friend Matthew, I don't think has either. I mean, apparently, I don't know if anybody in chat can tell you how long they usually take, but you know, maybe apparently they take a long time, from what I understand. Tron is hard and blue-white is the worst and most wrong take I've heard in a while. That's saying something. Found the blue-white player, I guess. I don't know. This is also, I don't know, it's also like maybe to some extent like why I like to say this is like blue-white players, and I say this as someone who spent most of my Magic career exclusively playing control decks. I'm one of you, but I feel like blue-white players just so often, go on and on about how hard their deck is to play, but like I feel like so many of blue-white controls decisions are like really straightforward, and like mulligan decisions are like not as complicated either as other strategies. I think blue-white's got easier over time and Tron's gone harder. I think that that's a fine take to have. Yeah, I agree. Blue-white is the ultimate feel smart deck. I think that that's a pretty good way to describe it. Not that like the name Urza Saga. Not that there isn't like skill with blue-white. Like there's skill like this. There is skill with like literally every single Magic deck is the thing though. Every single Magic deck is difficult to play perfectly. Blue-white is not an exception to that, but like blue-white players just go on and on and on about how difficult their deck is and how smart they are for playing it, and it's just like it's really not that deep. I feel, but they still just force less game. I'll play around force. Saying burn is hard to play makes sense. Saying burn is harder to play perfectly than other decks doesn't really track. So I mean, this is we talk about this concept a lot, and there's exactly one thing that's difficult with burn. There's only one thing that's difficult with burn, but it is balancing pivoting from offense to defense in burn is some of the hardest and most nuanced decisions you can make in modern. Figuring out the spots in burn where you need to be the aggro deck versus when you need to be the control deck is just like it is just incredibly difficult to do that perfectly. It is very often unclear when those moments are to pivot from offense to defense, and that is what is so hard to do perfectly with burn is pivot to a more controlling role. We've had this conversation a lot of times, and like you could disagree, but like I honestly like I have a lot of problems with it personally. Right. Anything else to do here? Questy 12 months, appreciate you. I think burn is one of the easiest decks to just play proficiently, obviously. But that pivoting from offense to defense, pivoting to control with burn is like is just the difference between an expert burn player and a proficient one, and really is very, very difficult. Seamus 6 months, thank you. Patrick Sullivan is a great example of someone who's just like on a whole other level and like is like playing like near perfectly with burn, which is incredibly difficult to do, incredibly difficult to do. The thing with modern is like there's just levels of play, right? Where like Hammer Time, Burn, Blue-White Control are great examples of decks that are like relatively easy to play proficiently, and when you start playing at expert levels, when you start playing at the very top of your ability, that's when these decks become incredibly difficult to play perfectly. Blue-white is an easy deck to play proficiently, an incredibly hard deck to play expertly. I would say that like Tron is maybe a harder deck to play proficiently, but like an easier deck to play expertly, because once you like master those mulligan decisions and those sequencing decisions and what you get with Karn, then there's like not that much room for growth. And I think Living End is another example of a deck that's hard to play proficiently, easier to play on an expert level. I think that makes sense. Not that I always make sense on this freaking channel. Ooh, bricked on the Smith first time with that. Like, and Yawgmoth is a great example of a deck that's like incredibly difficult to play proficiently and even harder to play at an expert level. And so, like, when I say blue-white is easy to play, I'm saying it's easy to play proficiently, but it is a very difficult to play a deck to play on an expert level for sure. Bankoko, I think Bankoko is is one of those hard for both. I mean, a lot of the brews I play, I don't know. A lot of the brews I play are complicated, but I don't play like almost any of them perfectly because they're like, you know, fresh and new, and it just takes like so long to get enough reps to play a brew masterfully, I guess. So I can play the drum to trigger Smith. I let them connive, but I think that this is fine. To get to trigger the Smith and get the drum into play. The easiest deck that's ever played Modern History is Red Green Valak. I think that's a fine take. But again, like, this conversation is not one I love because, like, to be honest, so much of this conversation is people in chat going, my deck is hard to play, your deck is easy to play. Is just like, I don't like this attitude. You know, there's like a very elitist attitude, I feel like, with like deck specialists in Modern. This game is easy to play. I don't know. I mean, yeah. So I don't know. I think that no deck is easy to play perfectly. I guess we're going to be just ramping. Oh, I guess I probably want to put Sentinel into play. Yeah, let's put Sentinel into play. Put Sentinel into play. And then let's go ahead and cast Pithing Needle. If Pithing Needle resolves, I guess I already triggered the Smith. 1, 2. I was thinking if I want to hold the Citadel for Smith or not. I guess I'm going to be triggering this next turn anyways. No, right, we'll just play the Citadel. We have 7 planes. We have 10 planes in the deck. Wow, I'll take this all day. I don't know why they're prioritizing countering this at all. Take that all day. Oh, wow. That's nuts. Okay, so we're going to cast that instead of Sagaing this turn. They get to connive. Get your connive. Then we can attack. The problem with this conversation is Magic is inherently difficult. Modern players, Modern's a very difficult format with margins are going to feel smart. Exactly. I think players they really just like want to feel smart when this conversation comes up, and it's also like just so players are so quick to dismiss intricacies in decks that are like commonly perceived to be easy. Like Burn and Tron are examples of decks that are perceived to be very easy decks to play, but there are a lot of really interesting, nuanced aspects to those decks that are not just trivial, and people like just really don't give them enough respect. Okay, let's go ahead and put a +1 counter on the Sentinel, peeling off the Restoration. Yeah, but no deck is easy to play. No deck is easy to play. They're just, you know, they're all just different. They give me a card here, so I don't know. I guess they must have another counter spell. There was one night my control friend picked up Burn for Night Effort and lost every round. Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, this I developed this opinion as someone who's been playing Control for years and years, like exclusively Control at many points in my Magic career. I developed this opinion about blue-white being, or Burn being like a hard deck to play after picking the deck up, after actually playing it. You know, like this is where my opinion comes from. Oh, dude, we're getting murked. We have to draw Dispatch. Because we could draw Lightning Greaves and get a Shadowspear. Let's see what we draw. Basic Plains, baby. Okay, so put these triggers on the stack here. I'm going to discard a Plains and get back an Ingenious Smith to better make the decisions here. There's a Shadowspear. So I guess I'm putting Shadowspear into my hand, making a Construct token, getting Soul Guide Lantern, sacrificing Soul Guide Lantern for a card, and having to draw. I need to Power Conduit also. Having to draw exactly Dispatch off that card, and have my opponent not draw Lightning Bolt. So like, easy, right? Easy peasy. Dispatch? I saw the mana cost. I got excited for a second. Okay. Game 2. Okay, so I want the Crowbar for Blood Moon. And then Lantern is a card I don't usually like against Murktide. We might still keep one in. So yes, I think I'm just gonna cut Kaldra, or it's either 4th Power Conduit or Kaldra for Crowbar, and then that's gonna be it. Kaldra is obviously like really good in the matchup if your Mystics live. They just don't live that often. It can be bad to have a dead draw, but multiple Power Conduits can be bad to draw as well. I think I'll do that. Why is difficulty of deck a good thing? It literally doesn't matter. Like this conversation about deck difficulty in Modern is a very toxic one, where deck specialists like have a ton of bias and they really want to argue how hard their deck is, because their deck is hard to play, because every deck is hard to play, and there's a lot of like belittling other Modern players, and there's a lot of like bad toxic attitudes when this dialogue comes up, and but yeah, there is like not any inherent virtue to a deck being difficult. And I say this as someone who plays, you know, medium, incredibly convoluted decks all the time. Like, just because the deck is hard doesn't really matter. Oh no! Look at me. I'm just F6ing through my first turn. I don't know why I thought I was on the draw. Just busy rambling. It's fine. Fuck. Not actually fine. Why is Crowbar better than Seal? You can tutor with Mystic, and so like that way you have like access to a lot of answers for Blood Moon without actually having to dedicate a lot of spots to it. We can move on. I like probably everybody else grow weary of the convo. I was rambling and ranting because I just can't. I always get super stun locked all the time, and that stun lock caused me to skip through my first turn. This is a pretty hard turn too. Yeah, I do kind of feel like I want to hold Saga. I don't know what I want to cast, though. I think I want to cast an Ingenious Smith to try to get this Dispatch online as quickly as possible. Okay, another portable hole seems really nice. Play Stoneforge so they're compelled to kill it rather than move. I think that's a fine line, too. This is a tough turn. Very tough turn. Ooh. Okay, so let's play Saga, and so that we can pay for Spell Pierce on the portable hole. Obviously, we're hoping this just resolves. Does not just resolve, but I will, I think, prioritize getting the Ledger Shredder off. Maybe this isn't the most mana-efficient play, but the Shredder's a big problem. And this also gets me closer to Metalcraft for Dispatch if they have Murktide. Portable hole Tribal. Also triggers the Smith, which is a little relevant. Although not anymore, the Smith is dying. They do get a double connive, but thankfully I have dispatch for Murktide, so if I draw land or artifact, I'm pretty likely to be able to dispatch a Murktide. Bit scared of Blood Moon, but if they do Blood Moon, it's, you know, we have plenty of action still in the hand. Abrade the Portable Hole. It's pretty good. An artifact land would be awesome this turn because we could go make a token, then dispatch the Shredder. I guess the basic planes ain't so bad either. Yeah, we'll just make a token. Obviously, we could play Smith plus Stoneforge Mystic, which would be fine, but let's them connive. And I think that I'm interested in just making a token here instead. And this will, you know, Metalcraft. They only have 2 cards in their hand too, despite us being on the draw minus a card. Is living in Just Dead in today's meta? I would not say Just Dead. I think that would be hyperbole for sure. Certainly seems to some extent that it's falling out of favor though. Okay, let's just get a Springleaf Drum and hold up double dispatch here. How would I compare Connive to draw a card? It's... I don't know. I don't... Connive is like... when people compare like scrying to card draw, I usually think it's like not that productive of a conversation, like most things, I guess. But it's like it's worth it. It is a card if you discard something like Oval Chase Daredevil, and otherwise it's like, you know, basically just a scry. But it is, you know, card selection is valuable, but like it's not really like, you can't really put a number on it. Notably, they're not fetching basic Island here, which is very odd to me. I would think that if they had Blood Moon in their deck, they would go like Island, crack Islet. And then if they're cracking Islet main phase, it like almost definitely should have happened end of turn. Don't have Metalcraft for dispatch. We'll just take this hit. Is Reanimator still good in the meta? There's so much Blood Moon that like the problem is like, in my opinion, like the Cottage Reanimator is so much more powerful than all the other versions, but there's so much there's so many Blood Moons. I have a hard time getting behind. Okay, so I'm gonna go Ingenious Smith, like really hoping to find an artifact land so I can just play all my creatures this turn. Find a Springleaf Drum, which is almost an artifact land, I guess. Okay. It's fine. There's Ragavan Mystery card. We're actually pretty ahead here. I think this matchup's pretty good, but obviously F6ing through your first turn is less than an ideal line. If they dash to Ragavan, I'll try to trade Sentinel for it. Okay, so we'll float a mana. So like I wanted to do that before they heated. I will dispatch now. Obviously, they have too many like good cards, specifically Portable, the hole they could hit. We're in pretty good shape. They have no cards in their hand either. Crazy to be so ahead on resources when we were on the play in F6 through our first turn. Okay, Greaves is an interesting draw. Deck Tech for Aim Tech. Thank you for the for that. I will take a look. Okay, so I'm actually I think gonna get Shadowspear here, where it might look like Kaldra. Like I can put Greaves on Stoneforge Mystic and I just get to Kaldra next turn. But Kaldra like can lose to a Murktide Regent, so I think that like the ability to go Nettlecyst plus Shadowspear equipped next turn potentially if I draw a land. I think I have to draw a land for that. Yeah, to draw land is a good way to play around Murktide Regent, and I'm likely gonna win if they don't cheese me with Murktide. But yeah, Aim Tech, if you post a link in the chat, I will be happy to take a look. So I'm gonna cast the Shadowspear. I think if they drew a counterspell, I don't know how likely they'd be to. Oh wait, yeah, sorry, I was one mana short here because I can't use the Springleaf Drum. I guess I can go put Nettlecyst into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tap the Germ token to equip Shadowspear to Nettlecyst. Then move the Lightning Greaves over. And so if they drew exactly and Holy Heat here, it's not the end of the world because we just still have the Nettlecyst in play. And now we have just this monster that is going to be so tough for them to deal with. Okay, tech for aim tech. Modern Owling Mine. Oh boy. Oh boy. We got Shieldred in here. The last time I did an Howling Mine, whatever deck tech, it was a list that had not been updated in 5 or 6 years. Was it worth attacking with the Germ first? I couldn't get everything equipped onto the Germ if I attacked first because I have to tap the Germ to Springleaf Drum. And if the Greaves are on the Germ, then I don't get to move the Shadowspear over next turn. So I think just getting the Lifelinker is my priority here. Okay. What do we got here? Ragavan Borrower, Exhaustion, Eye of Nowhere. Isn't Eye of Nowhere strictly worse than Boomerang? Okay, there's 4 Boomerangs here. I missed these. Okay, my very first note is if you're going to be playing Exhaustion, Eye of Nowhere, Boomerang, you have to have more than just 3 Fevered Vision. Oh, there's that. I don't know why the white border made me not see this. Okay, that's fine. Tech for Cool Kid also. What does this card do? Target player draws 2, loses 2 life. Deal damage to the number of cards in player's hand. I don't know if that's better than the red trap. I don't know if that's better than the red trap. I would probably play that one, the one that's just one red mana instant speed do that. I know that the other mode is obviously somewhat relevant, but I think I'd love to be able to play with this hand. But we'll keep this. Hand definitely soft to a turn 1 Ragavan, unfortunately. That is what they're on. Okay, so I think that I want to go Citadel Lantern here. Not that it probably matters too much, but I'm probably going to go turn 2 Smith into turn 3 Power Conduit Metalcraft on Dispatch. I think I would probably play 4th Ragavan over the Brazen Borrower, 4th Exhaustion. I like the Rule of Laws. I think that they're pretty good. You don't want to play 2 copies of Basic Plains in a deck that only has 1 white card that only costs 1 white mana. You probably want 0 copies of Basic Plains, to be honest. But you have Blood Moon in the sideboard, so 1 Plains is fine. Yeah, no more than 1 Plains. You also only have... You have so many basics. Your mana honestly looks awful. You're a 4-color deck with double black, double blue on turn 2. You have 12 cards that cost blue, and you're a 20-land deck with 5 lands that don't cast that blue spell. That's really bad. That's really bad. So I think that you probably have to forego these Blood Moons in the sideboard if you're going to be playing Shieldred in this 4-color deck. Is there a way for Dispatch decks? I'll turn 1. No, not in this deck. Okay. Very good draw from them. Certainly lines up well against me. Subtlety. Wow. I guess they put it on top since it's I'm okay if they cast it next turn. Why not play the Owling Mine creature from Dominator? You could play that. There's a blue card that's kind of like an Owling Mine. Although you have to play out at instant speed, which is maybe not what you want to be doing. Yeah, but you need to not be playing all these basic plains and swamps so that you can have a consistent mana base, and you have to lose Blood Moon for that, in my opinion, especially if you're really committed to 20 lands, although maybe you should be playing 22. And maybe just cutting the Borrowers for 2 lands is best. They trying to abrade my... Okay, no, just trying to cast the Smith. Yeah, Citadel is still an artifact. But yeah, as far as the mana base goes, I'd be on, 8 fetches, all blue, 1 Hallowed Fountain, 2 Watery Grave, 2 Steam Vents, 2 islands, 1 swamp, 1 mountain, probably. Maybe not 1 swamp, 1 mountain. Maybe this could be so painful otherwise. The swamp mountain's always awkward, all these double blue cards though. But if you're playing 22 lands, it's probably fine. Okay, they did not find an artifact off Ingenious Smith, thankfully. So we get to go Power Conduit, main phase Exile Ragavan to probably play around. I guess playing on island counterspell is not super likely, huh? Braid would have been just lights out there. Notably, Blood Moon fixes my mana for Jegantha, which is somewhat relevant. They only have 2 cards in their hand too. I don't like this Magus of the Moat very much. I would play like I don't know, Supreme Verdicts over this. I also see that you're doing something I honestly like. This like philosophy of I'm going to play 1 Leyline. I'm going to play 1 Leyline of Sanctity, 1 Leyline of Void. I don't really understand it. Like if this is a card you want, I think you just want like a lot of them. And if you don't want it, you don't want it. But you're wanting to get the Blood Moon, the Maguses. The Gulf the Shore is like pretty mediocre. It's really bad in this current mana base with like all these swamps and plains. But if you want to stick to it, then you don't want to play the swamp and the mountain at all, I think. Go Ingenious Smith, go, huh? 2 cards in their hand. They don't have double blue. We get to Jegantha. I'll hold this to maybe trigger Ingenious Smith. You know, a lot of loose thoughts for a deck that really needs a lot of love. Training Grounds, 12 months, thank you. And then I've got another deck tech. Let me finish this match first. Alright, let's draw a card. Not the best card. Any more Tweakwing Titan's Nest? I've been working on the Pioneer version. Some. Jegantha! Jegantha's so freaking broken. If I get Nettlecyst, it'll be +4/+4. Subtlety, sure. You didn't want to save that dress down for my Stoneforge Mystic? I don't know. They have to take it 5 more, I guess. Wait, why didn't they just dress down the Stoneforge Mystic? That's got to be a punt, right? Okay, they found Unholy Heat, so they have 2 cards in their hand now. Hopefully both double blue. I could get Kaldra. Kaldra, larger and charger than Nettlecyst. I could also get the Crowbar to unlock. Yeah, if I get the Crowbar, I unlock Power Conduit Blood Moon. Seems fine. Crowbar's been really good so far. Yeah, I know I can hardcast Kaldra. I think I'm gonna prioritize this though. I guess maybe this unlocks their hand actually. Huh. Maybe this unlocks their hand, though. Maybe I want this Blood Moon to stay in play. I don't know. I've got the Saga in my hand. Have I tried Herd Migration and Mono version of yes? I don't know what Herd Migration... That's the one that makes a bunch of birds equal to your life total? Yeah, maybe I was supposed to get Kaldra. I don't know. Lightning Greaves is interesting. So I want to cast this before they can counter. Put this here. Maybe I'm supposed to make treasure tokens this turn too. I don't know. If this is wrong, I don't want to be right. Makes 3/3s equal to your domain and you can channel it. That's kind of a cool tech. So this other deck tech is Blood Sun Karuga. Oh, I love it. No. No. It's beautiful. Okay. That's really good. They could have done that without the Blood Moon in play, though. Yeah, they're giving me an extra token, too, by not sacking this sooner. And then I guess I hold up instant speed Treasure Vault activation so that I can beat Unholy Heat on the construct. I desperately... Karuga sucks. I mean, that card draws a lot of cards. I would play, I think, 4 Touch the Spirit Realm in the deck, because you're playing 4 Fury, 4 Solitude. I don't know about these temporary lockdowns. They seem interesting, though. I don't know about the Silex either. I think you either play lockdown or Silex. Fable seems fine. I think I'd probably be into Typhoon over Fable, though. I could be wrong. Maybe Typhoon is better. I could be wrong. Yeah, I played versus Krug yesterday. It didn't look bad at all. I love this. I don't know. I love it. I'm probably going to play it at some point. Yeah, if you think Fable's better than Typhoon, that's fine. But I think I just want to cut probably the Silexes for 4 touches. Try out Temporary Lockdown in the main. Make that swap if you think that's better to swap. You could play 1/1 also. That could be good. I don't usually like Summary Dismissal very much. Kind of nitpicky. I really like Wear Tear in this deck because you like Wear Tear being like castable on turn 1, turn 2 is kind of nuts. I would play like at least 3. That deck looks sick though. I'm gonna down. I love it. I'm gonna download it. I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but I will hope to. Okay, so they still have Delirium here, so really feels like they are trying to Unholy Heat this construct, but I'm gonna try to not let them do that. Ooh. So if I go Dispatch here, then I can go construct 2 treasure tokens if they counter. Okay, last card is a counter spell. Toph, 2-pack. Post a link in the chat. I can take a look. Dead Gone. Oh yeah, Dead Gone. Maybe play Dead Gone in the Karuga deck there over the Silex or yeah. I kind of like the idea. I'm into it. I'm gonna work on it. I think it looks interesting. Okay, so we put my opponent to 4. We've got 2 lethal attackers. They have no cards in their hand. They do have the Islet, though. They've already used 1 Dress Down, 1 Explosive, so they don't have too many outs, probably. Trying to fit Mox Amber, Ragavan, and Duraco combo seems tight. Any suggestions? So, I think that like if you play more Asmo, more Cookbook, then you can play Ragavan and just like lean on Asmo as your removal. But so Ragavan over Giver potentially. Beyond that, it's kind of tough. You can also play more than, you know, that is, I think, an example of a deck that you can play more than 60 cards into, which that was weird, but name Fiery Islet here. They didn't top deck Dress Down. They would have attacked, so we should be fine here. I guess they could have Archmage's Charm. Did I do the math wrong? I don't think so. Possible. So they have Odawara plus Chump Block here. It's fine. Bring in Nest to Vegas. Do you have any changes? I would probably cut the Snapcaster for the... apparently from Crimson Vow, there's a 3-mana regrowth that has like Flashback for 5. So I would cut the Snapcaster for that and then play Kihira in the sideboard, although I don't know what I'd play Kihira over. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to hold that for the discard trigger. Whoops. I think we'll be fine, though. Famous last words. Oh, no, and I didn't hold up the treasure vault for the heat. Okay. Punting a little bit at the end there. But we're 3-1, losing a really cool match to Blue-White Affinity. We 4-1'd our first league with the deck yesterday. Oh. Yeah, I'll be thinking about this some more. It's a very complicated deck. We have Seal of Cleansing in the sideboard too, in addition to those other changes. Okay. Right on time. Esper Sentinel. I can just play Smith here. You can find them, loot them to Ascendancy, then plunge. Okay, so you find Loam, loot Loam to Ascendancy, which allows you to hope to mill over Dryad Arbor. That's the plan. I'm a bit confused. This is a difficult deck tech for sure. A cool one though. I think I want to get Greaves. Let's go with Restoration, maybe. Maybe I just get Shadowspear up against mono red deck. It's kind of good on my curve next turn too. I don't know. This deck is very interesting. I think that 4 Loam seems like too many. Safe Right Quest seems like a card I really don't want to play in this deck. I really just want to play. I want to play 4 Birds of Paradise. I want to play like it's also, it seems weird to me to be in on Fate Stitcher or Dryad Arbor plus Postmortem Lunge when Fate Stitcher like seems largely better to serve this purpose. All right, got enough removal. Yeah, I just don't really know why we're not on Fate Stitcher here, or like any copies, and like why you play more than one Dryad Arbor when like you have so many ways to tutor it too. Am I just gonna commit to taking another hit off Ragavan? I might do that. Probably shouldn't. I probably should go Restoration plus 2 jump next turn and go Shadowspear and Nettlecyst this turn. A lot of their burn is probably 2 damage. Chandra, Torch of Defiance, minus on the Germ token. Okay. Okay. So let's go Restoration, grab a Plains, and then decide if I want to dispatch Ragavan this turn or if I'm comfortable taking a hit and playing Power Conduit. Or maybe I need to play Greaves so that I can go like bring back Stoneforge Mystic next turn, grab Nettlecyst, equip Nettlecyst, equip Shadowspear. I kind of like that line. I think it's close. I think it's better than Conduit at least. Okay. This deck is very tough. I think it's very cool, creative. It kind of reminds me of just like a classic, like, I had a really good idea with like all of these enablers for Dryad or plus Ascendancy, but this is like not better than Fate Stitcher or like Sylvan Caryatid, I think. Is kind of my like a main note, I guess. Is Castle Artevale worth it for this like to puppet bodies? You have a lot of non-planes, but you usually have things to do with your mana. Yeah, very hard deck techs, and like they're all like back to back too. I think those are my thoughts. Would they be able to playing Conduit this turn rather than next turn? Just like mana efficiency, right? But yeah, you can wait on it for a turn, which is why I think you play the Greaves instead. Little Chandra. 2 mana left. Makes a mana. Or 3 mana left. They can play the Bone Crusher. Wow. They don't play the Bone Crusher, so they're holding up interaction. Okay, so cast. Yeah, I guess I'm actually discarding the Conduit. So that I can dispatch this turn in addition to Nettlecyst, Shadowspear, Lightning Greaves equip. Not sure what they could have to kill my Nettlecyst. Heat, maybe? It is a 6/6. Heat would be nuts. Okay. Let's go after the Torch of Defiance. The more I watch Spike play, the Power Conduit Century seems like the weakest part of the deck, with Restoration just being reasonable. I mean, Restoration's very good. I've liked the Power Conduits, but I've been kind of thinking about cutting the 4th copy, but I don't feel like the Power Conduits have been bad. I will say, like, you know, potentially cutting, like the thing is, like, if you cut the power conduits, there's not much in the format to play. I've been, like, really scrapping for alternate options because, like, you could play, like, one hearse instead of conduit 4. You could play Bauble, but Bauble's, like, mid as hell, not a card like I'm, like, that into. You can play Fiddlebender, but Fiddlebender is not 4 slots, it's like 8 slots. So I don't know. The conversation seems difficult. Cutting the 4th conduit for 1 affects Parasite, Truebill, Saga. My problem with Parasite is, like, when you tutor it with Saga, your Saga's dead. And then, like, you'd have nothing a lot of times to activate your Hex Parasite on. It's also, like, a really fragile 1-mana 1/1. But, like, I don't know. The problem is 2-drops are bad in Modern. Yeah, for sure. Like, absolutely. Absolutely 2-drops suck in Modern. What is the Power Conduit supposed to do? It combos with the Sagas. You get to peel the counters off, keep triggering them over and over again. You wait, Thraben Inspector is pretty mid. Spikefield Hazard. Can be used for later sagas and can kill Planeswalker around stuff. Chalice 1. Yeah, I don't know. Hex Parasite, I don't know. I really don't like Hex Parasite. You could play it though. It would be not bad, but I think it'd be worse than the 4th conduit. I'm definitely open to suggestions. I think that, like, you want like minimum 2, probably 3, maybe cut, like, the 4th for something. I just don't really, like, another thing about Hearse too is, like, I don't really feel like we're in, like, a main deck Hearse format, if that makes sense. This is not really this is not really, like, the format I think to be main decking Hearse. I kind of can't resist this line. Pure still Paladin. I think Paladin's, like, a little weak if you're not playing Hammer. Obviously not unreasonable. Okay, so we're on the draw against Mono Red Obosh. I think they revealed Obosh. I'm gonna cut the Lantern. It might just be a Lantern for Crowbar. Another deck tech for Carbon. Plus, like, in chat. No, but they had Chandra, right, of course. Let's submit this. Don't think our main deck seems pretty good against them. Add second Needle. I don't know. Like, I'm not too scared of their Planeswalkers really. I don't think you need if I had 0 in the main deck, I would be into it, but I think just the 1 copy is fine. Okay, let's keep this. Guess we put back Dispatch and just curve 1, 2, 3. I might have gone Modern Reanimator. Yeah, you're in way too deep. Way too deep. What is up with the deck text today? I don't. They're all in so deep. So one thing is my perception on Reanimator as an archetype at the moment. My big problem with the archetype is that the Witch's Cottage version, which I've been playing, which I found to be, like, by far, as someone who's done, like, I've played so many Reanimator variants since the release of MH2. I guess I get the Shadowspear. I've played, like, just, like, nothing but Reanimator variants, or, yeah, sorry, the hyperbole. I've played tons and tons of Reanimator variants since MH2, and the Witch's Cottage one is, like, a huge step up of power level from any other variant I've seen by, like, a lot. The big issue with that version right now is there's a ton of main deck Blood Moons, and that deck is very weak to Blood Moon. This deck does not, like, this deck is worse against Blood Moon, probably. This deck, I don't know, the mana seems really bad all over the place. You have no way in the deck to discard Archons of Cruelty that you draw, which is a big problem. Every single Reanimator version needs to be able to discard the Archons that they draw naturally. These 2 Griefs seem very random, and they're much, much worse without any Ephemerates in the deck. Omnath to Hardcast Archon is an idea, not an idea that I hate. But I think like only playing 2 copies is odd. Dimir Charm is like not close to playable. You need to cut all copies of Dimir Charm from any draft you ever have. With 3 Ridden, you should play 23 lands, 4 Ridden 6 probably, not 24-3. Shark Typhoon is a card with like no synergy in your combo deck, and it is not a card that I like here. I think makes much sense, if any sense at all. Like yeah, like very very you know with Peace and Love, the list, a lot of the cards here seem very random, and I don't understand them. A lot of the cards seem very random. Meathook Massacre is not a modern playable card. Tormod's Crypt makes no sense over like Leyline. Oh, you're playing Gyruda. Okay, well, like, that's something. Like, I had no idea why you're making any of these, like, deck building decisions. And, like, Gyruda is something. Okay, so let's go. It's not, like, it's... There. I think Punt has a good list with Meathook. I guess, sure. I personally have never seen a Meathook Massacre deck that I thought looked playable in Modern. Yeah, Gyruda is like, I don't know, like, I don't like to do this. When I get these deck texts, I just, you know, I don't like for my advice to just be, hey, this list is like, just like, you know, just not like close to playable. You have to like scrap and start over. But I do think that's where we are at with this list. I think I'm gonna play the Power Conduit here. No, if I play Power Conduit, I'm just on a board, so let's not. So yeah, the baubles have no, like, the baubles are so random and make no sense here. I don't know, like you really, I really don't like to just say like this deck has like, you know, no direction, but the deck has no direction. I'm sorry. All right, Dead Tiny Burn. Playing this white deck at Vegas in the qualifiers. I don't know. So like I bought a ticket from somebody. They like had some like family emergency come up, and they posted on Twitter, and I bought their ticket. And they were registered for one of the Modern qualifiers, and I'm like looking at my account, and I don't think that in tournament entry registered to me, which really sucks. So I think I'm just going to Vegas to hang out now. Unfortunately. But I'll try it. If I do, I will bring some Modern decks, and maybe I'll bring this one. Do you think Triumphs were a mistake? I mean, yeah, probably. You should be able to play at the event. I hope so. I am bringing EDH, yeah. I'll bring Modern decks. I will like try to... I was trying to figure out last night. I can't really tell. Yeah, I didn't email Wizards or anything. I was just looking at it last night. I'll try to email them, but I don't know. Yeah, I just like everything I've heard with like the 30th anniversary thing. It just seems so disorganized, and yeah, I don't know. I'm going to hang out. I'm kind of expecting the event itself to be a disaster. Okay. I think I'm gonna go for, if I go Silver Saga Conduit, I'm pretty weak to like Blood Moon, but I guess I still get 1 token, and I have to play it on turn 2 if I want to make a token next turn. What's the hero between Restoration? Restoration's really good. All of your like grindy cards with 2 mana, like Recurse Saga, recurs all your 2 drops. It's very good to like loop with Power Conduit. It's a good card. The Greaves, I like the Greaves a lot. I wouldn't cut them. Down for EDH, assume it's not a command zone. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work, but yeah, I'll be probably playing some pickup games or something. See, maybe I don't know if there's like an EDH event, but I don't know if I really care about that. There's a free area on the 16th floor. Cool. I know. I know I'm gonna have a good time. There's gonna be a lot of people there. I'm gonna be excited to see. You know, Yeah, I'm going with Esther too. It's Vegas too. There's gonna be like a lot of non-event stuff to do and food to eat and vacation to have. But yeah, I am like honestly like kind of regretting spending the money on the ticket, to be honest. Yeah, if they have Fury into Blood Moon here, that's really gross. Really hoping for no Blood Moon. Pillage. Okay, so might as well put a charge counter on the Power Conduit here. Nice. Let's play Stoneforge Mystic this turn, since the Mystic, I can save it from a 2 damage burn spell. I don't know what I want to grab, though. Guess just a Nettlecyst. We can protect this from Bone Crusher, Firebolt. Is this version better than Oswald? Yeah, I think so. This is our second league. We 4-1 the first league. It's been feeling better too. Very powerful. At this point, I want to cut the 4th Power Conduit. I don't know if we just want to main deck a Hearse. If we want to play like, I don't know. I don't know what to play over the 4th Conduit. Like 1 Hearse is fine, but I just don't really feel like Hearse is very good in the metagame right now. Batterskull. I also don't like Batterskull. I think you have a big equipment with Kaldra. You have Lifelink with Shadowspear. Batterskull is a card that I very rarely feel that I want to have access to. Don't know. This attack seems odd to me. A sword? Yeah, you could play a sword. You could play Fire Ice in the main. Listen, Lion Sash was my first preview card. I love Lion Sash. That card is not very good at all. Maybe they just don't know how Power Conduit works. I used to play Lion Sash in the deck, and it was a card that I thought was like very weak and not one I was really interested in playing. I might play the Restoration this turn. I like getting a land. I like being able to put like Greaves into play for 0 mana next turn potentially. Listen, I love Lion Slash. It's like it's very near and dear to my heart. Again, my first ever preview card. Maybe Crowbar main. Crowbar main's kind of deep. Crowbar main's kind of deep. I don't hate it though. Okay. I kind of want to get back Esper Sentinel here. Probably better to get back Saga, though. Probably better to get back a Saga. Then let's go make a token. Keep our Saga around. Grab a Springleaf Drum. Test a Smith. Danny, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. The deck has definitely been feeling really good, though. I've been very happy with this list so far. Hex Parasite would be good here, I guess. I really am not gonna play that Parasite though. There's no way. I think we're gonna win this game very easily without the help of Hex Parasite. I might lose this Saga though, so I can reanimate something this turn. And I have another Saga to keep the loop going next turn. Oh no, I let the trigger go in the stack. I need to do this in the upkeep, so never mind. Never mind. I wanted to like put the Greaves into play for 0 mana, I guess. So let's go make a token. I want to put the counter on the token. Grab Shadowspear. Then go Greaves Shadowspear. And I think I should be down to attack. Maybe I take this hit from Fury, but this actually blocks the Fury pretty well. What do you decide against Tron? Other big mana matchups? So, like, against Titan, You have disenchant effects for dispatch in the main deck, and this is like your strategy against Titan. Tron, you're pretty screwed, honestly. You have Pithing Needle, but like Tron is also like you have Void Mirror for Eldrazi Tron, and like Tron is pretty uncommon at the moment. Like, and this is not a deck I would choose to play if Tron was popular. You also have Feast and Famine for Titan. Another 4-1 though, back-to-back 4-1s with this deck. I am liking it. Yeah, I'll remember to do the prediction payout this time. We're gonna play.